Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mondays with Marlo. Well, today, I'm so fascinated by this story. You talk about a comeback. Today we have a real comeback family story. The Astins are here with me, and like you and me, they were living a pretty normal family life, 2 kids, nice house in Far Rockaway, New York. They're musicians, their kids were going to school. Well, one of them was going to school, the other one was too little to go to school. And then one day everything changed because Hurricane Sandy came along and blew their house down. Just destroyed their house, the instruments that you had in the house, your whole way of life. Everything had to change. But what's fascinating to me is that, Jared and Christelle, you remade your life on a boat. How did that happen? Who thought of the boat?
We already had one, actually. We had a small sailboat when we moved back to New York, probably 2005. So that we got a sailboat shortly thereafter, and we had one, and it was in Mill Basin, and that actually made it through the storm. And we had been sailing for 7 years or so, and we just really loved it. And we thought about doing this sort of as a pipe dream, like down the line, maybe we can move on a boat and travel around and play music. And when we lost the house, we kind of lost our place to live, it sort of put this opportunity in front of us. We had this sort of hole, like no lease, what do we do now? And so we just decided to give it a shot.
Wow, and what did you do? I mean, was the house completely gone? And was there anything you could salvage? Did you go through it and get the favorite dolls and the favorite instruments, or what did you do?
We lost, the children's furniture, most furniture, pots and pans, things like that. We were able to salvage photographs. We had them really high on the table because we had severe flooding. And we did salvage our piano. We evacuated the night before with our piano, so we were lucky there. But it was, making lemonade out of lemons. It was an absolutely fantastic opportunity to pursue a dream, to live on a boat, and it saved the trip to IKEA and a new lease. So this was a new lease on life for us.
And did you all of a sudden feel free?
Totally free.
You must have.
Totally free. It was sad at first. You
must have cried about losing your house.
It was sad at first. It was very sad.
Did you own your house? Was it mortgaged?
No,
we rented. We rented an apartment there. We had actually just moved into this apartment 6 months prior, and we really liked the neighborhood. Like, we kind of moved. We really loved it. We were having a great time there. So it was kind of bittersweet because we really had sort of changed up our place of living down in Rockaway, and we only had one summer there, but it was a good summer.
Sharon asked the obvious question, was your family always close, or did you have to learn how to work together to survive? I mean, well, your daughter's what, 14?
14 and 4.
And 4.
Yeah.
So the 4-year-old must have been 2, so she didn't have a whole lot to say about this.
No.
But the 14-year-old was 12,
yes.
So how did she feel? I mean, around 12, you're kind of rebellious. Did she want to do what you wanted to do?
I think she was still an impressionable age, so I think she was totally on board with it and loved the idea and really wanted to travel and go sailing and go to the Caribbean. So it was very exciting for her. Also, the idea of homeschooling, she enjoyed very much like that prospect too, and she loves it to this day. So we've always been close, but this opportunity has given us more time as a family. We're always together, we work things out, we have disagreements, we work them out together.
But when you have a fight, where do you go? Somebody slams the door and goes up above or below? Or?
We jump in the water.
We jump in the water and go for it.
Go for a swim. It's tight. I mean, we were living in apartments, so it's not as though we were living in some, we moved to New York from Colorado where we had tons of space. So we were kind of slowly downsizing everything, I guess. But I think it's also just the change, was enough for us to kind of just be, it's exciting, we're actually living on a boat. We're not just staying. We had taken our smaller boat for, week-long adventures and things,
right.
But it's no, we're living on this. This is home. So we all had to get used to everything, and it just kind of is all right, we all got to work together, and the further you go and the more you go through things like weather and stuff breaking and everything, I think it just kind of keeps everybody close.
And you were homeschooling. Are both of you the teachers?
Yes.
What is your
My
expertise?
subjects are history, geography, literature, architecture, and Jared does math and science.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were ready to do that. Did you
Yeah.
go get books? And what did you do?
Oh,
The kids had books and you just went from there, or did it online? How did you get all the materials?
There's a private school called Calvert School, so they send all the materials and books to us to an address, and we get the books on board and start with lesson number 1 and work our way to lesson 160.
Wow.
Yeah.
So brave. This is from Ryan. Material possessions. Was there anything you were willing to save? What were you able to take from your old life? You didn't take your piano on board, did you?
No, we had to, we had to give up most of, all the things like furniture. We had to get new everything because, your large big pots and pans and full-size plates, they just don't fit on the boat. So we kind of had to redo everything. So we did salvage a lot the day before the storm. We knew that it was coming. We knew there was going to be flooding. So we did as much as we could. We lost a good amount of stuff still, but we spent, most of the day prior just loading stuff and getting it to a storage unit. And but yeah, we had to sell furniture that we did save, and we had to dispose of things that we didn't save. I had to sell my piano, which was kind of a sad day, but it doesn't fit on the boat. So.
Were there people in your area who didn't heed the advice and said, oh, it's not happening, and you put all your stuff in storage units that you were worried about, your photographs you put up above so they wouldn't get wet? So who were those people? What did they all?
It was sad. I mean, that we basically came down the day after with a friend of mine to see what the damage was, and I was like, wow, this is, it was what I thought it was going to be. It was pretty bad, and we were a half a block away from the beach, and there were some folks in condos that were facing the beach that kind of they were actually cracking up the day before, like, what are you moving your piano for? I was like, it's going to be flooding. So, I think it was sad for those people because they were thinking about the storm the year prior that just missed them, and they were like, I'm not moving. But, it was pretty apparent, and I think it was just people can be stubborn. They don't want to do things, and they don't want to move. They don't want to have
But what
heated
happened
mornings.
to those people?
They went through an evening of hell, basically.
Were they in their house?
Yeah, this one gentleman was in his house on the ground floor, and he stayed in the house until the sea actually crashed his front door down. And it's like the electricity's on. It's seriously dangerous. And we met him the next day. I think I saw him the next day or the day after that, and he was a mess emotionally. He was like really shaken up by it. And
Wow.
we were shaken up for losing things, but I guess by being boaters and just being on the sea, it's like we do. Like, this is going to be serious. It was a
Right.
high tide. It was a big tide, and everything was just kind of like, yeah, get out of the house.
Right.
Don't be there.
This is from Brenda. We all have challenges. What strengths did you discover in yourselves that even surprised you?
Perseverance, willpower.
Tell us about the willpower. What did you have to be more willful about?
Weighing anchor in Brooklyn and sailing to Bermuda, which is a week-long journey. It's half the journey before we get to the Caribbean. Staying up long hours, just being 100% on all the time, keeping the children safe. It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of strength, a lot of patience. So I learned a lot about myself with that trip.
And what did you find with your daughter, who was old enough to do things? Was she, scared? Was she pulling her weight? What was she doing through all this? Or was she down in the bunk somewhere hanging on for dear life?
She loves sailing, and she's 100% there. She will come take the helm. She helms the boat great, and she's extremely reliable. She's very self-reliant, and if you need her, she's up on deck in a second doing whatever you need done.
That's great. Did you know that about her? Is that a surprise to you?
It wasn't a surprise, but it's like the difference between knowing that someone's got it in them and then like, okay, this is a little scary. I need you to get up here and take the wheel though, because I got to go to the bow and fix something up, and
Right.
and then you just do it, and just it's a great experience for her. It's good for us to see that she just has that nerve, to do it and be there for us like we are for her.
This is from Gwen. What's the biggest fear in taking a leap like this?
Our biggest fear was, are we going to be able to fiscally pull this off? With 2 children, sailing full-time, cruising full-time, we're musicians. That was I think our biggest fear.
How would you make a living?
We perform. We're musicians. That's how we make a living.
I know you do, but I mean, you must have been thinking, how will we make a living?
Oh, right, of course.
As we go from, you just don't land somewhere and say, hi, I play music. I mean,
it actually works like that sometimes, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, it has. I mean, we basically started off with some work in the Caribbean, the U.S. Virgin Islands. I had toured there with a friend for several years and had some contacts there, but when we left the first year, we had very few gigs lined up. We really were like, okay, we've got a few, and then we've got to fill it out. And I guess it just changes. Your life is different. We don't get up. I've got to be at work at 9. It's just this sort of, you just got to get the ball rolling, and you're on the road. I mean, it feels like a gypsy caravan sometimes, because sometimes we get a call and we're like, yeah, we got to sail 7 hours to get to the next island for a gig tomorrow. Well, we'll just do it. As long as the weather is good and everything.
Do you play together as a duet?
Yes.
What do you play?
I'm a flute player and ukulele, and he's an accordion player. He's actually a pianist and organist, jazz pianist, but the accordion fits on the boat, so he took up the accordion 3 years ago. So it's fun. We have a great time.
I'm gonna tell you a story about a little man. Grew up in the river, way up top head of the river.
Oh, this is a wonderful question. This is from Emily. Was there anything that you were totally unprepared for? Did everybody know how to swim? That's sort of a basic question.
That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Our 2-year-old, she wasn't swimming on her own. So, I think that was kind of a big thing, was we moved on board, we were just like, okay, we've got a 2-year-old, so we need to make sure that we have a protocol together so that, she doesn't wander and fall overboard or whatever.
Right.
So, and that was kind of the first big deal for us. I think we were so focused on that, everything else seemed really easy, just dealing with getting groceries down the docks and everything. But yeah, we just kind of made it a part of our life and had family discussions. Okay, this is how we do it. Every time we sail, she's clipped in along with her life jacket. And it also really helped us get into a protocol sense of thought. Like when you're out at sea, it's not just do whatever you want. There's a 24-hour watch schedule that has to be adhered to so everybody gets rest and somebody on deck is aware, and making sure that everything is not breaking.
Ship shape?
It's a good, don't break. We don't want to break stuff.
Right. What we're going to do now is meet the girls. One is 13 and one is 4.
Right.
And their names are?
Arden is our 13-year-old and Riley is our 4-year-old.
Well, I just think it's fabulous that you girls live on a boat. I mean, really, I'm so jealous. What's the funnest thing on the boat? What's the funnest thing?
There's this slippery part that I just slide on my belly with the life jacket on.
How fun. That's great. So do you know how to swim?
Well,
In the process.
yeah, and
When we're on the beach, she swims, but off of the boat, she has her life vest on, but she's pretty good for 4.
yeah, and I only use a mask because if I can float.
And she
really well.
snorkels.
And snorkel?
Yeah, we all
Great.
snorkel
And
together.
and I dive.
Dive. Great. Good for you.
I like the fact that I can jump off the boat and go swimming and snorkeling. And I just recently started paddleboarding and doing competitions for that.
Wow.
And I like to, I own 2 paddle boards, and I like to just train and stuff, and that's what I like to do.
No matter where you are, you kind of just always end up with all this stuff, and then you have to move, and you just like, why do I have this stuff? Somebody gives you stuff, and you buy stuff, and whatever, and you just don't use it, and it's just not necessary. So I think definitely the lifestyle makes you kind of pull back down into just the things that you need, and it does give you a lot more time, to think about what you want to do with your life.
You want to say goodbye to everybody? Say bye.
Bye.
We're sailing away. Okay, thank you. Thanks so much, everybody. See you next time. That was
What do you
good.
mean about that?
Isn't that pretty?